Hello, how are you doing? Happy New Year. It's good to see you. Let me turn this around. Hi, so I'm at the, Happy New Year, how are you doing? I'm at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and today is the last day that it's going to be open. Because of the government shutdown, they've run out of money. All the Smithsonians are going to be closed tomorrow. So this is our last tour until they reopen again. And not only are the Smithsonian... Oh, thanks. Hi, Ketchy. How are you doing? Thanks for joining and sharing. Blessings to your family. Happy New Year to you and Nicole. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. The National Zoo is going to be closed. The national parks, the monuments, the visitor centers, Hi, Claudette, how are you doing? The visitor centers, the gift shops, none of those are going to be open. So they're going to have limited staffing, and there's a new crop going to be sworn in tomorrow. Good morning. Happy New Year. How are you doing, Claudette? Thanks for joining. Thanks, guys. And so the government shutdown is affecting like 4 million people in Washington, D.C. They're going to be working without money. So let me turn this around, and you guys can watch this. So the name of this exhibit is Making a Way Out of No Way. Theo Gibson. Hello, how are you doing? So
there is but one destiny left for us, and that is to make ourselves and be made by others a part of the American people in every sense of the word.
Who is that being sworn in? I don't know. I wish they would say. Are you having Black Eyed Peas there today? You know, we will go down and check out the
today we find race
home sweet home cafe.
Fighting along all lines.
But my son-in-law is making Black Eyed Peas at home. That's Dorothy Height. Dorothy Height, Shirley Chisolm. Those two I do know. Yes, please. Okay, I will show you Sweet Home Cafe. We will make it down there. This is the integration of schools. She's the only black child of the school. Look at her face. And look at the other ones. Wow. Oh, you already had your Black Eyed Peas? Awesome.
You must adhere staunchly to the basic principle that anything less than full equality is not enough.
Nation of Islam. They're all on this floor. So we're on the 3rd floor of the museum. Oh, you're welcome. Of course. You're slow cooking your Black Eyed Peas. Okay, Nicole. Black Eyed Peas are for good luck if you're not African American. They bring in the new year.
We're still here, still managing through it all.
Perseverance.
With dignity and a certain amount of nobility.
Yes. And there's the church.
We had to make our own way.
Happy New Year, everybody. And we're still making a way out of no way. We are still making a way out of no way, guys. We are still doing that. Decent housing, integrated schools, jobs for all. We are still resisting for that. So now we're going to go around and I will show you guys over here. So Muslim Americans, Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam, teachings of Muhammad. So Chicago was like the epicenter, like in the 60s, like when I was a kid. They had like a village. All the stores were owned by Muslims, and they had these chain of like fish fry restaurants, Muhammad Temple number 2. So it wasn't just the mosque in Chicago. I mean, they had a complete community. There's a prayer rug up there. Sister Clara Muhammad School, and that still exists. That's on Stony Island. The teachings. I am? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. I wondered what was going on. And then there's the hat. Some Muslim Americans claiming a national identity. And then here, making a way out of no way. Foundations of faith. So it's interesting they started with the Muslim faith first. Yes, thank you, Periscope. Thank you so much. I didn't even see them come in. Thank you for the feature. Foundations of faith. So Richard Allen, I don't know if you guys can see it. Soul Force. It is. Oh, thank you guys so much. This is a writing slate book used to learn to read and write. Belonged to Bishop Benjamin Tucker Tanner. Thank you, Periscope from Peru. Yes, thank you from Peru. Yeah, so you guys tell me where you're joining from. He was a distinguished theologian and clergyman in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. He edited the Christian Recorder, the official publication. Oh, thank you so much. Super Hearts. Thanks, Claudette. Appreciate you. Official publication of the AME Church. And then Soul Force, May 1971. African American church leaders organized the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957. South Africa and also in the midst. Hi from South Africa. Awesome. Who else? What other countries? That is awesome. Welcome, South Africa. To launch the Moral Crusade for Civil Rights. This is a voodoo doll from the Sea Island, Georgia, 1880s. This is a gift by Oprah Winfrey, guys. She donated this to the museum. It's a religion rooted in beliefs and practices brought to the Americans by enslaved Africans. In the rural South, African Americans used voodoo charms like this for healing and protection. Nails were affixed to the dolls. Hi, how are you doing? Hi, Fathead. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining. You guys know what this is, a shofar? It's a ceremonial ram's horn used at the Beth Shalom Synagogue in Chicago. The congregation traces its roots to the Commandment Keepers, a group of black Jews who sought to forge a new spiritual and cultural identity for African Americans. So this is Beth Shalom B'nai Sakin Ethiopian Hebrew congregation. So the black Jews are in here. So they keep coming on Scope and saying that they're not in the museum. There they are. They're represented right there. This is an usher badge, the usher board. So, is this Baptist? Yeah, Baptist. Identifies Ruby Penn as a member of the senior usher board of New Bethany. Hi, Nellie, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. New Bethany Baptist Church. Happy New Year, everybody. And the Holy Bible belongs to Hattie McDaniel, the first African American to win an Academy Award for her role in Gone with the Wind. Wow, this was her Bible. The daughter of a Baptist preacher began her performing career singing spirituals. You're having breakfast in Ireland, British occupied Ireland. Hello from Ireland. Everybody else, tell me where you're joining from in the world. So this is Hattie McDaniel's Bible. That is so cool. Wow, this is the Holy Quran. Iman Worth Dean Muhammad, 1933 to 2008, was a Quranic scholar. And this is the stand that the book was on. He led the largest conversion of African Americans to Islam in the late 1970s. Iman Muhammad used this Quran, the sacred text of Islam, in his religious studies. Wow. Wow. And then it says, we have always been like one and the same family, going to the same church, sitting in the same pew. Sister Mary Bernard Diggs. And this is from Sisters of the Holy Family, founded St. Augustine Church in New Orleans in 1842 by a free woman of color, Henriette Deal. Happy New Year, everybody. Sisters of the Holy Family is the second oldest congregation of African American nuns established in the United States. I didn't know that there was an order of African American nuns. The sisters ran a school for children of color and ministered to poor black Catholics in Treme neighborhood and throughout the South. In 1988, DeLille became the first African Americans considered for sainthood by the Catholic Church. Well, do they have a picture of her? Well, I guess maybe she's in the photo up here, but I don't know which one she is. Did you guys know that there was an African American considered? She was the first African American considered for sainthood. That is phenomenal. Let me see if I can zoom in. And so these are the nuns, an order of African American nuns. Learned something new. Yeah, I did too. I didn't realize. So that's the order of the African nuns in the 1800s in New Orleans. And then this is the first AME Church of Los Angeles. Biddy Mason. So remember Mike did the scope about Bridget Biddy Mason and how she helped to found Los Angeles? This is her picture of her in the museum. 1891, she co-founded the first African-American Methodist Episcopal Church of Los Angeles in 1872. Enslaved in Mississippi, Mason traveled with her owner to the free state of California in 1851. And then in 1856, she petitioned the courts and won freedom for herself and her daughters. With money that she had earned as a nurse and a midwife, Mason invested in property and amassed a sizable fortune, part of which she used to establish the church. So I think that's the church. So Mike scoped about her. Isn't that awesome? And then there's another one. And this is in Los Angeles. So Mike did a scope. We are you. And then it says, if I were white and believed in God, I would speak in no uncertain words against race prejudice, hate, oppression, and injustice. Florence Sperling Randolph, 1941. Wow. If a man may preach because the Savior died for him, why not the woman, seeing he died for her also? Is he not a whole Savior instead of a half one? Jarena Lee, 1836. And the right to preach. So let's see, what is that? Is that? I wonder who is that? Bethune on there? I wonder. Okay, so it says left to right. Mary J. Small, 1850 to 1945, was the first woman ordained as a leader in the Methodist Church. Joanna Lees in the middle, 1783 to 1850, was the first woman authorized to preach by Bishop Richard Allen of the AME Church in Philadelphia. She traveled throughout the United States as an itinerant minister, speaking to white and black audiences, and documented her spiritual development in her 1836 autobiography. And then the one on the last one to the right is Julia A.J. Foote, 1823 to 1901. She spent 50 years as a traveling Methodist preacher in the United States and Canada, where she was ordained as a deacon in the AME Zion Church in 1895. Foote emphasized the Holy Spirit as the primary source of her authority to preach. Wow, so women have been preaching for a long time. God is calling. So that's the church. And now, a left-hand writer. She was a left-hand writer. Oh, the first one's left-handed? Yeah. And now this is Double Victory, the African American military experience. So the museum is huge. So for those of you who are just joining, I'll do a reset here. So we're at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And I'm Janice Temple. And today is the last day that you can come and visit. Passes are not required. If you're in Washington, D.C., you can just walk up and come in. So passes are not required Monday through Friday. But however, because of the government shutdown, today is the last day that all the Smithsonian museums will be open. Today is the last day. Hi, Lorraine. How are you doing? So if you want to come. The National Zoo is going to be closed. Visitor centers, gift shops of the national monuments will be closed. Hello, how are you doing? And so you're getting a last look at the museum before it closes down today. And so I'm going to share with you this Double Victory exhibit. We're on the 3rd floor of the museum. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You like my glasses? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello to everyone. Happy New Year from California. Yeah, so as you come on in, tell us where you're joining from. You can tell us your name if you want. It's good to see you, Lorraine. Thanks for joining. And then please do follow me. So this is Double Victory. And then share this out. So United States Volunteers. And it says, greetings, everybody. How are you doing? Oklahoma, awesome. You can go by. I do solemnly swear that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Go ahead, go. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. That's the oath of enlistment. And then here's a quote of Colin Powell. I don't know if you guys, welcome back. Colin Powell, I'm a direct descendant of those Buffalo Soldiers, Tuskegee Airmen, you can go by, and Navy's Golden 13, and Montfort Point Marines, and all the black men and women who served the nation in uniform for over 300 years. Colin Powell, 1992. And then it lists different military operations: Pearl Harbor, Spanish Civil War, Tuskegee Airmen deployed to Italy, D-Day invasion, Saipan landing, the Battle of the Bulge, Rhine River crossing, Iwo Jima landing, North Appens campaign. So many. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Somebody did tell me that. So we're going to start over here. So this is the Revolutionary War. Approximately 5,000 to 6,000 African Americans served in the colonial forces. An estimated 20,000 served with British forces. Can you imagine? More of African Americans fought with the British than with the colonial forces. That's an incredible number. That's an incredible number. James Armstead Lafayette was a spy for the French General Marquis de Lafayette. He represents contributions by African Americans beyond fighting on the battlefield. No, they don't teach it in history. That's why you need to come to museums and read. No, not at all. You would never have known. That's surprising. Well, no, maybe, you know what? They received their emancipation, or they were trying to become emancipated by fighting with the British. I think that's what it was. And who is this? This is a soldier in the Revolution. This gouache painting shows an African-American soldier in the 6th Connecticut Regiment, about 1782. African-Americans from Connecticut served at Yorktown. And that's a musket. French and African-American forces used Charleville muskets similar to this one after the turning point of the Battle of Saratoga. And yes, black loyalists. So this is Mumbet. Elizabeth Mumbet Freeman won freedom through a court case in Massachusetts, moving the state closer to abolishing slavery in 1783. Massachusetts was the first state to abolish slavery, so that's Massachusetts. And then here are Native Americans, blacks, black Seminoles, the delegation of black Seminole War veterans in Washington, D.C. That's what that is. I love gouache painting. So difficult, like was resist. Yeah. I don't know that I've seen a gouache painting before. Captain Abraham Absalom Boston. Wax. Oh, it's wax. That's what it is. Okay, I see what you're saying. Absalom Boston, the only known African-American whaling captain at sea. Museums are interesting, especially about our roots. They are. Was one of the many African-American seamen during the early 1800s. Black British Marines. Wow. It says the British recruited enslaved people in Maryland, Virginia, and Georgia to serve as Marines from May 1814 to August 1816. These Marines were among the British forces that attacked and burned Washington, D.C. in August 1814. Like African Americans in the Revolutionary War, these black British Marines were willing to fight for whichever side offered the best chance of freedom. Yeah, So there were black British Marines. That's interesting. African Americans in the Battle of New Orleans. The Seminole War. Beginning in the late 1700s, many enslaved African Americans fled to Florida, intermarrying and merging cultures into the Seminole Indians. Some of these black Seminoles were important warriors and tribal leaders, such as John Horse, 1812 to 1882. Between 1816 and 1815, the U.S. military waged war against the Seminoles, largely over land for expansion and to stop the flow of self-emancipating men and women. Wow. And that started in the 1700s. John Horse felt that his life's goal was to doggedly pursue freedom for himself and his people. So in the 1700s, we were self-emancipating, you guys. We didn't wait for today, which is Emancipation Day. January 1st, 1863. We didn't wait for Lincoln. We self-emancipated. That's John Brown. the Civil War. And why are there slave shackles? Okay, the adult-sized iron-wrought shackles represent bondage left behind for former enslaved men who joined the U.S. colored troops. Wow. Okay, so they left being enslaved. A lot of them were sent to war in place of their owners. So they left shackles and they became soldiers. So that was another way that it happened. Office of the Board of U.S. Claims, what are they claiming? Many African Americans escaped from Confederate masters who had pressed them into service mainly as laborers. This broadside describes runaway John Parker, who went on the abolitionist speaking circuit. So it's interesting, the Confederates didn't want to fight. They sent their enslaved people who freed themselves and became abolitionists. The complexities of slavery, that's for sure. Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass and the 54th Regiment. History is one of your favorites. It's one of mine, too. What is this? Sculpture. John Rogers mass-produced affordable plaster sculptures during the 1800s that evoked passion and intimacy. Several of his designs depicted African Americans during the Civil War and construction. That is interesting. So we're going to go. There's much more this way. Well, there's a movie. Oh. We're going to go around this way. Colonel Robert Shaw, yes. Gould Shaw, 54 Massachusetts Regiment, yes. And then this is Frederick Douglass's son, I believe, in this photo. Yes, Lewis Douglass and Charles Douglass, the children of abolitionists. Frederick Douglass served in the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. And then this is a picture of them. Okay. And this is a picture of the soldiers of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, 1st New York Infantry at Wagner in South Carolina. You're very good. You're very good. They absolutely did do that. So let's go this way. Let's see. We're going to finish Making a Way Out of No Way. So this is a school, a segregated school. So Rosenwald, he was a Jewish philanthropist, and he built schools all over the United States. He funded 5,357 buildings. That is an amazing feat for one man. And 5,000 schools, guys. That's what he funded, the Rosenwald schools. And a matter of fact, Maryland had a large number, and still some are still in existence today. I believe Rockville High School started as a Rosenwald school. It still exists. So these are pre-Rosenwald schools. That's what the schools look like. And this is in Virginia, White Oak, Virginia. Poor facilities. And he worked with Booker T. Washington. It is a lot of schools, isn't it? There's one man helped to educate African Americans. One man. So Booker T. Washington, photo of Julius Rosenwald. That's Julius Rosenwald. That's Booker T. Washington. Tuskegee, Alabama. So Tuskegee University, they helped to build the schools. So this is Hope School. It was built March 1925. Fame of James Haskell Hope, then State Superintendent of Education, sold 2 acres of its estate to the local school district for $5 to build a Rosenwald school. The community raised $2,200, $400 from the white community, $600 from private black contributions, and $1,200 from local and state government. A Rosenwald grant of $700 was added. Okay. This is scientific racism, guys. It is my belief that physical anthropology can make a significant contribution to our national welfare by giving people the scientific facts we have about race. W. Montague Cobb, 1941. So, DC scientist proves race inferiority a myth. His name was W. Montague Cobb, anthropologist and activist. Hello, welcome, come on in. Comedian Micah, welcome. So in 1932, Dr. W. Montague Cobb became the first African American to earn a doctorate in physical anthropology. Hola, Queen, hola. Cobb applied for his research to challenging theories of scientific racism and fighting racial discrimination and access to health care. He also assembled a world-class anatomical collection at Howard University. Cobb's pioneering work paved the way for future generations of African American anthropologists, and those are some of his tools. Hi. Demonstrated that science could be a tool in the struggle for racial equality. So at one time, there were theories that we were inferior. Oh, that's Jesse Owens. He's in the lab with Jesse Owens. Yes, Black Power. So and this is Dr. Cobb, and that's Jesse Owens, who track and field champion, who won against the Germans at the Olympics. And he said he used Jesse Owens as a basis to prove that there was no measurable racial difference between black and white athletes. He did a study called Race and Runners. Isn't that amazing? And this is Medical Care and Plight of the Negro. Ohio State's finest, Jesse Owens. Yes, blessings. So there's doing, this is a laboratory at Howard University. Medical Care and the Plight of the Negro. Physical anthropology and demographic analysis revealed the toll of racism on, Happy New Year, on African Americans and the broader society as well. In the pamphlet published by the NAACP, Cobb argued for the desegregation of medical education and hospital care. And this is the activism part. I think this is Dr. Cobb speaking to the press right there. Oh, thank you for the Super Hearts, Elizabeth. Welcome. Thank you. So appreciate you. So that was Dr. Cobb. And this is Making a Way Out of No Way. The value of education. Grace and peace to you as well. Whether sleep... Okay, let me reset. Let me do that for you, those of you who are new to me. Hi, I'm Janice Temple, and we're at the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Today is the last day to visit. Tomorrow, the government shutdown will affect all of the Smithsonian museums. So the National Zoo will be closed, the monuments, visitor centers, gift shops are closing. All over the fight over the $5 billion for Trump's wall. So there is no more money for the Smithsonian museums to remain open. You don't need a pass if you're in the Washington, D.C. area. Just come on down. No passes are necessary Monday through Friday. So you can come and visit. And so we're doing a last scope, a last visit to the museum. Thank you. So please follow me. Wow, I'm disappointed that they are shutting everything down. Yeah. So the Museum of African Art, the National Portrait Gallery, Native American Museum, the American History Museum, Air and Space Museum, all those museums are going to be closed until they pass a new budget and get new funding. So this is the last look, and so thanks for joining. That's why your vote matters, absolutely, and your voice too, so we have to resist. Thank you, Iris. So I'm going to share with you, this is the Making a Way Out of No Way. It is a pity. So I want to share with you guys just a little bit of the museum. Oh, wow. Negro Makers of History by Carter G. Woodson. Okay. I finally found something of Carter G. Woodson's in this museum. So Carter G. Woodson is the father of Black history and the father of Black History Month. And this is an actual book that he published. 1928 by Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history. He was born in 1875. He died in 1950. He dedicated his career to eradicating myths and misconceptions about the achievements of African Americans. Woodson established Negro History Week and founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, an outlet for Black scholars to publish original gifts. So that is, yes, Carter G. Woodson. I've been looking. I was like, where in this museum is anything about Carter G. Woodson? I thought there was a photo, but they have his book. 1607, Virginia. Yes, 1607. So this is, we are actually commemorating, let me rephrase that, it's not a celebration, we're commemorating 400 years of perseverance. So 1619 in Virginia were the first enslaved Africans, 20 people who landed in Jamestown and also in Old Point Comfort, Virginia, which is now Hampton, Virginia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And so this is 400 years of perseverance. 400 years of perseverance. It's a commemoration. 1619 to 2019. So the theme for Black History Month is Black migrations, but it's also perseverance. It's also Ghana returned. Hi! Thank you so much, McFanny, for the super heart. It's also a return to Ghana, to Africa, a call. 400 years of perseverance. And so that's why this is so applicable, making a way out of no way, 400 years of perseverance. That's what we are commemorating. The light of the world set on a hill cannot hide. That is true. That is so true. So I'm gonna, making a way out of no way. Perseverance, and that's what we have done. And we will continue. And not only for us, we need to call on our ancestors for the oppression of all people that's happening now. All people, for everyone. Not to have the wall built. We need to call on all these ancestors, Carter G. Woodson, all the soldiers, Frederick Douglass, to call on all of them. Thank you for the super heart, Maureen Bone. We have to call on all of them, everyone. It took an army, the National Guard escort, for her to go to school. This is Little Rock Central High School, desegregation, 1957. The banning of segregation in the schools. And this is the Black Hospital Movement. Providence Hospital in Chicago. Yeah, you're right. She didn't. Yeah, she did recently pass. I agree. African American doctors and nurses faced open segregation. Absolutely. Open borders does not mean no borders. Absolutely, absolutely. We're oppressing people for what reason? This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. They're here making a way out of no way, just as we did. Just as we did. We should not be giving Trump $5 billion for a wall. We honored their contribution by doing what we can to further freedom. Yes, and freedom for all. Freedom for all. It's freedom for all. I don't think this is the USA. Well, we're changing the USA. I don't think anyone thought of color. We just played together. Viola Jeffers. We are not ashamed of freedom. Absolutely not. Hi, Zakia. Welcome. Resident of Covert, 1996. The choice to integrate. Yes, freedom for all. Until the revolution. Yes, freedom is not free. No, it is not free. But $5 billion for a wall is unacceptable. Unacceptable. To put 4 million people without pay as they come into the new year, tomorrow they can't go to work because of the government shutdown. That's unacceptable. That we are paying a cost. We are sacrificing right now. Every race that's come to the U.S. has been met with some type of prejudice. They have been here for how long? Los Angeles, oh my God. If you guys go and you watch Mike of Empton's To Travel Scope about the founding of Los Angeles, I think maybe 1/2 of those people were Africans, Negroid. They founded Los Angeles. They spoke Spanish. They have been here since the beginning. The beginning. Titled Nobility Amendment unratified since 1810. They helped to found Los Angeles. Los Angeles was founded by people of Spanish-speaking Mexican descent. Los Angeles, you guys. And that's not like being shared. And they were Africans. They were Africans and Latin. And they helped to found the United States. Happy New Year to Zakia, from my family to your family. Okay, Happy New Year. I can't read your name, but yeah. So we do not need a wall to accomplish what is necessary to have legal entity. No, we don't.
Attention visitors.
We don't.
Running, horseplay, and playing on or throwing items off balconies.
So the battle
is
to integrate
and will result in an escort out of the building.
So lessons in integration, Covert, Michigan, the hands that built America. Absolutely. They helped to build America. They have been here from the beginning. I don't understand. How Texas? So what were the states that were formerly part of Mexico? Like, I don't understand. Like, we're building a wall. We're building a wall for the United States that we took from Mexico, the part that we took from Mexico. So Texas, yes, California, Texas. I don't get how they can say that Mexicans are illegal. No, they helped build the United States. They're not illegal. They have always been here. It's the craziest thinking ever. It's ridiculous. So no giving in to Trump. So this battle is going to be interesting with the government shutdown. But yeah, they've always been here. They've always been here. We're the new ones. I don't get it. He needs to learn some history. So come visit the museums across the street from the White House. Yeah, absolutely. So this is Ben Carson, and they kept this in here, although he fell out of popularity. But so he's a medical doctor. He was going to run for president, and instead he ended up supporting President Trump. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, so America can be changed and will be changed. Mary Lloyd Bethune and the National Council of Negro Women. How much does it cost? The museum is free. You don't need a pass. You just walk in. Educator, club woman, government officials. So Mary Lloyd Bethune was the first president of ASALH. She helped Carter G. Woodson with yeah, right. She helped Carter G. Woodson with the building of Black History Week, Black History Month. Mary Lloyd Bethune had an integral part in that. And so this is a desk, National Council of Women. We're not crucifying him. Nobody's crucifying anybody. But what I'm saying is the people coming from Central America, Latin American people, indigenous people were here before we were. They helped to build America, and we should not be building a wall. Thomas Sowell's section. Tell me who's Thomas Sowell? Who is that? Let us gear ourselves to the great task of mapping out a pathway that will truly lead to a better world for us all. Mary Lloyd Bethune, 1944. So this is the National Council of Negro Women. The building is still here in Washington, D.C. I believe it's not a national... Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not close to the public as well. But these women are standing there. So it's the only, I believe, on, is it on Pennsylvania Avenue? I believe it's the only African-American owned building down there. It's near the Capitol building. And these are the affiliate organizations of the National Council of Negro Women, the National Association of Beauty School Owners and Teachers, Women's Auxiliary to the National Dental Association, Women's Missionary Council of the CME Church, National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa, National Jones Association, Women's Auxiliary to the National Medical Association, National Association of Colored Graduate Nurses, Women's Missionary Society of the AME Church, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, National Beauty Culturalist League, Women's Home Forum Ministry Society, AME Zion Church, Chi Eta Phi Sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, National Achievement Club, Grand Elk Daughters Elk, Lambada Kappa Mu Sorority, National Association of Fashion and Accessory Designers, Iota Phi Lambda Sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Imperial Court of Isis, Daughters of Isis, International Heroines of Jericho, Women's Army for National Defense. Wow. That's a lot of women's group. That's this, and they all came and they sat at this table. Isn't that awesome? And supposedly they just reopened her house. So hopefully this shutdown doesn't last a long time, because MLK Day is coming, I believe the 22nd. That's Dorothy Height, one of the leaders of the National Council of Negro Women. We learn them up, then we know we have so many things in common. We do. Hi, Dryer Buzz. How are you doing? Look at the hats. Oh, my goodness. Dorothy Height's hat. She was known for hats. Yeah, okay, so dryer buzz. So today is the last day that the National Museum of African American History and Culture is going to be open because of the government shutdown. The Smithsonians don't have any more money. All the Smithsonian's museums will be closed tomorrow. You don't need tickets to get in Monday through Friday. No more tickets are necessary Monday through Friday. We don't know when it's going to open again. They have to pass the budget. So President Trump is saying that the budget will not be passed until he gets his $5 billion for his wall, to build his wall. So the zoo, the National Zoo, is closing. Today's the last day for the National Zoo. National Portrait Gallery. No, we're not looking at years. No. We don't know how long it will be. You're welcome. The National Zoo. The National Zoo. Washington, D.C. The zoo in Washington, D.C. is known as the National Zoo. President Trump should not get paid, but I don't think it would matter if he didn't get paid. He's a billionaire. He has so many sources of income. I don't think that would matter to him if he didn't get his presidential salary. I would say, I don't know what his problem is. So, yeah. So until he gets, they're going to have a big fight over this budget. They're going to swear in the new Congress tomorrow. They're swearing in the new Congress tomorrow. And then they're going to start voting and, oh, thank you so much, Dryer Buzz. They're going to start voting, and they have to take that out. Are Smithsonian workers going without pay? Yes, all government workers are going without pay. Once the budget is passed, their pay will be retroactive. So it's affecting about 400,000 government workers. They're working without pay. And then there's about 3.5 million contractors. So 4 million people total that are not being paid. The government contractors, 3.5 million government contractors don't get retroactive pay. They just lose money. They just don't get paid. So it's affecting that many people. That's what the government shut down. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, and thank you to Periscope. So I'm giving you guys a tour of the museum before the shutdown. Washington, D.C. is one of the most expensive cities. Won't they fall behind on bills? No, it's not 800,000. It's because there are a lot of government contractors, and they live in Washington, D.C. It's 4 million people total. 4 million. 3.5 million of them are government contractors. And I heard about 400,000 government employees. So I think there are 8 agencies that are not funded. They include the Department of Justice, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and what are the others? The TSA, Department of Interiors, which is the national parks. And so the national parks, they protect the monuments. So you will have the visitor centers closed, the gift shops will be closed. Yeah, that's what's happening. But if you're in the area and you want to come to the museum today, it's free. You don't need a pass. You just walk in, and yeah. Passes are not needed Monday through Friday. Only on weekends do you need passes. And then I believe, no travel during the holidays, TSA. No, TSA, they're working without being paid. They're unpaid. Those people are at the airport, but they're not being paid. They're working without being paid right now. They're necessary, but they're not being paid. So yeah. So that's what's happening. So this is like the last tour, the last visit. I think I've been 3 times this week, so this is the last visit of the museum. And so this is the Niagara movement. We need to call on all these ancestors. So this is 1905. This is Dubois, W-B-E-B Dubois. This is a total BS, third shutdown. It is. It is crazy, isn't it? So today is the last day of Kwanzaa, and normally on the last day of Kwanzaa, modern day slave is shaking my head. Yes. So today's the last day of Kwanzaa, and on the last day of Kwanzaa, you normally have libations, you have dinner, you have friends and family over, and you call on the name of your ancestors. We need to call on all of the ancestors, all of them, people working without pay. Yes, we need them to bring their spirits back in here. So we call on, I don't know what that is. Somebody get that person. I have no idea what they're saying. So we call on Mary McLeod Bethune. We call on her. We call on our ancestors. We call on Carter G. Woodson. Resistance fighters. Today is Haiti's Independence Day. We call on Toussaint Louverture, resistance fighters. We called on all of those who made a way out of no way. We call on all of our ancestors. Frederick Douglass. We call on them all. Marcus Garvey. What is that? I don't know what they're saying. So we call on them all. Prince Hall, he resisted as well. He started the Mason Church, but he also represented, I can't remember the lady's name. Oh, thank you for the Super Hearts Dryer, Buzz. He was a lawyer, and he helped to make sure that the first... Oh, thank you so much. Kisses to you, too. He helped the first woman to obtain her freedom and reparations as well. That's on the first floor, but I can't recall what her name is right now. This is his chair. So these are the Masons. So Prince Hall Masons, founded in 1784. Prince Hall Masons are the oldest African-American Masonic order. Oldest order. While Prince Hall Masons practice the secret rituals and moral teachings of the Freemasons worldwide, they also shared with other black fraternal organizations a commitment to racial uplift, mutual aid, and social justice. Well, we're about social justice for everyone, for all people. Social justice for all people. Prince Hall Grand Lodge. Wow. I believe he started it with Scotland because they refused to give him a charter. Quote, I don't adhere to Black History Month. After all, Black history is American history. Black history is American history, but we still have Black History Month. Thank you, Resistor Rachel, for your Super Hearts. Thank you so much. Making a way out of no way. We're still in this exhibit. So this is Sigma Phi Pi Phi fraternity. Oh wow, badge and collar from the 1940s. Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, 1925, and that's a transit pass. Award in Peel. Oh, this is the Lynx. Elizabeth Catlett statue. Wow. Wow. It says, for centuries, African Americans have formed associations for mutual benefit and advancement. While many black organizations emerged in response to segregation, they also promoted cultural values of community, education, and service. Membership provided opportunities to develop leadership skills, pool resources, and cultivate. What is that? Oh, thanks for the super hearts. Black edit. Yes, that's why we have to teach our own children. That's why we have to teach our own. There's Marcus Garvey. We call on the ancestors of Marcus Garvey. Our ancestors.
Remember the...
Oh, there he is. In the middle. Wow. The Masons. That's the Masons. Thanks for the super hearts. Oh, thank you so much. Wow. The sororities. Fraternities. It's time for us to begin to work on the problems of the world together. Dorothy Height said it. That's the National Council of Negro Women. AKAs. Says pass the civil. We need everybody. We need them all to come together against this wall thing. Absolutely. Everybody come together. Arizona Federation of Colored Women's Clubs.
And it makes no sense to...
It is amazing. All these organizations. We call on all these. Jack and Jill Teenage Conference. Wow, Jack and Jill is here. True liberation can be acquired and maintained only when the Negro people possess power, and power is the product and flower of organization. A. Philip Randolph. He organized the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. Yes, 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 he did. I think that's starting over. So these are Greek letter organizations, the Divine Nine, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Zeta Phi Beta, 45th Bull. Oh wow, look at the jewelry. We should. And then these are all the Greek organizations. I guess they're from that photo. Alpha Phi Alpha, Howard University. Maybe that's Sigma Gamma Rho. Phi Beta Sigma. Alpha Kappa Alpha, Howard University. Zeta Phi Beta. Delta Sigma Theta. Kappa Alpha Psi Howard. Omega Psi Phi. Iota Phi Theta. Oh, and then there's a cane. That's a cane. There's, what is this? That's a gavel, Grand Basuus Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Oh wow, look at the rings. Wow. These organizations are so important. So important. And this jacket. Oh, that's a safari hat. Kappa Alpha Psi. Beta Sigma fraternity. Happy New Year. You're a Zeta? Oh, awesome. Well, Happy New Year. Grand chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Every Delta in the house of Delta. They have lobby days. And on those days, all the Divine Nine go to lobby on Capitol Hill. They go to Congress and they go and meet with different representatives. That's Langston Hughes. Who's this in the middle? That's John Lewis. Oh, Thurgood Marshall. Norma Elizabeth Boyd. Okay, so that's Thurgood Marshall. Norma Elizabeth Boyd. So Thurgood Marshall, the first African American Supreme Court Justice of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Norma Elizabeth Boyd, leader of the National Nonpartisan Council on Public Affairs and founding member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And then John Lewis, who's presently in Congress, leader of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, member of Congress, and member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. That's what he is. Maggie Lena Walker. Oh, wow. Yeah. Let us put our monies together and reap the benefit ourselves. Maggie Lena Walker, 1901. So, Maggie Walker promoted a vision of African American women empowerment. There she is. There's her bank. Thanks for sharing and inviting. In her native city of Richmond, she invested the ISOL, she was treasurer, to launch several businesses, including St. Luke's Herald, a weekly newspaper, so that must be her newspaper, St. Luke Herald, a department store. Okay, she had a department store. Is that the department store? And then St. Luke Penny Bank. Wow. The Independent Order of St. Luke was founded in Baltimore in 1867 by Mary Prout, a formerly enslaved woman and member of Bethel AME Church. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Periscope for doing this. So appreciate you. Yes. So this is Maggie Lena Walker. So she took the organization's, the chapter's money and invested in a bank, a newspaper, that's the St. Luke building, a department store. That's what she did. And here's a bust of her. And it says the Independent Order of St. Luke. Independent Order of St. Luke was originally founded for the formerly enslaved. It became one of the most prominent and successful African American self-help organizations of the segregation era. Like other fraternal and mutual aid associations, the ISOL provided insurance and burial benefits for its members. Wow. Oh, you're welcome. Under the leadership of Maggie Lena Walker, the order broadened its mission to promote black economic development through business adventures, based in its headquarters in Richmond, Virginia. I definitely want to go and see. I believe she's going to be part of the Perseverance celebration. Oh, wow. Making a way out of no way. Oh, wow. So now we have Shirley Chisolm shaking up the system. I believe that they're erecting a new statue for Maggie Lena Walker in Richmond this year. So definitely, if you can, go visit Richmond and check it out. She's on the Civil Rights Trail, I believe. So Shirley Chisolm. Isn't that awesome? So this is Shirley Chisolm. People had to know that it was possible for someone with decency and a fighting spirit to overcome the system by beating it with its own weapons. Nobody has scoped this before. Very interesting to hear the truth and accomplishments of American heroes. Yes.
If you have been feeling lonely lately, if you have been feeling so disillusioned, if you have been feeling there's no way out, it doesn't matter how you turn, there's no way out. You have never really given a person something like the opportunity to tell them that there is a way out.
There's a way out, guys.
Why don't you come take the trip with me on Chicken Trail 1972 and see?
You're welcome.
And put it together. I dare to believe that we can really put it together if we understand what power is in this country and how those of us
Thank you.
left out can put it together so that we'll have to represent.
Yes, so follow me if you're new to me and share this out.
Before we can do that, we have to be able to get over these things. We have to be able to get over in some way.
Right. Have to get over the fact that she's a woman. Shirley Chisolm, unbought and unbossed. Yes, unbought and unbossed. 1972. These are her pens. Oh my God, phenomenal woman. 1972. 1972. Yes, Shirley Chisolm. There she is. And here, James, we call on Shirley Chisolm, our ancestor Shirley Chisolm today. We call on James Baldwin today. Acclaimed writer, and here are photos of him. James Baldwin used his creative talents to challenge racism in American society and illuminate the African American experience. Born and raised in Harlem, Baldwin moved to Europe in the late 1940s in search of greater artistic and personal freedom. His experiences abroad inspired him to reclaim his identity as a U.S. citizen, and he became a prominent activist and spokesman for the civil rights movement. And these are some of his books and plays. Oh, there's his passport. Wow, that is so cool. It does. It's a postcard from France. And here he is. There's James Baldwin. Amen. Call on the spirits of James Baldwin. Call. We need all activists. Remember being lectured about them in high school? That's awesome.
I didn't invent them.
Oh, wow.
White people invented them.
Yes.
I've always known,
Yes.
I had to know by the time I was 17 years old. What you were describing was not me. What you were afraid of was not me. It had to be something else. You had invented it. So it had to be something you were afraid of. You invested me with.
Wow.
I've always known that I'm not a nigger. But if I am not the nigger, and if it's true that your invention reveals you, then who is the nigger?
Wow.
I am not the victim here. I know one thing from another. I know I'm going to born and I'm going to be, I was born, I'm going to suffer, and I'm going to die. The only way you get through life is to know the worst things about it. I know that a person is more important than anything else. Anything else. I learned this because I had to learn it. But you still think, I gather, the Negro is necessary. But it's unnecessary to me, so it must be necessary to you. I give you your problem back. You're the nigger, baby. It's me.
I give you your problem back. Wow. Wow.
What do you say?
I do too.
You can't get jobs, how are we going to be a president? But I want you to think about this. There will be a Negro president of this country. It will not be the country that we are sitting in now. But if you say to yourself, there never will be a Negro president of this country, then what you're doing is agreeing with white people who say you are inferior. It's not important, really. You know, whether or not there's a Negro president. I mean, in that way. What's important is that you should realize that you can become the president. There's nothing anybody can do that you can't do.
Wow, that's awesome. And what is this over here? Citizenship class, Johns Island, South Carolina. Registration to vote. This is the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. We had a black press 2 times. Yep, we have.
Many of the people on the island work long hours.
We have. Yes, we can. That is so powerful. I'm going to show you guys out the window. I will take you downstairs. Fired up and ready to go. He motivated you. So to the right is the Washington Monument. You can't really see it. And then there are tour buses. And yes, we will have a woman. We sure will. That's Marian Anderson. Concert, Lincoln Memorial, April 9th, 1939. Youth March for Integrated Schools, October 25th. I'm glad you are. Thank you. March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, August 28th, 1963. And then this one is Youth March for Integrated Schools, October 25th. Teaching Civics using iCivics.org. Awesome. So, well, I guess we can go through here. And then they have, like, this is Chicago. Then they have areas. The Defender, Chicago, Illinois. I'm going to take you all, I guess, down to the cafeteria since I had a request for that. I believe this is May's Millinery. And then this is about the Angola prison in Louisiana, which was a plantation. And I never knew it was a plantation until I came and saw this. I'm sorry, what was that? Let me see what they said. What did they say? Forgot about who? This is the Bronx. Hip hop in the Bronx. Rice fields of South Carolina. Who's from Ghana? And they moved the land with their hands. So all of that was hand done. It says this is not natural landscape. Enslaved people moved it with their hands, literally their hands, transforming the landscape with their hands. The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned. Maya Angelou. Emotion, movement, and migration. So this year, the theme for Black History Month is migration. So this is the Great Migration. Black Prez 4 times. Oh, no, you guys. I don't consider Bill Clinton to be black. But this is the Great Migration. And then migration to the south. This is Caribbean migration. So the Bahamas, Cuba. I stand as thousands. I came as one. I stand as thousands. Maya Angelou. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Bill, not physically, no. Haiti. And today is Haiti's Independence Day. Good afternoon. Happy 2019 to you, too. Love Maya Angelou. I do, too. So Dominican Republic, St. Kitts, Antigua, Barbuda, Dominican, other Caribbean islands, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent, Grenada, Trinidad, Tobago. So, and this is from 1965 to 2010, and then this is African migration. So all of this all of this. Cape Verde, Morocco, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and then 321,000 others. So the 1965 Immigration and Nationality Act provided a renaissance of African immigration to the U.S. Since 1970, more Africans have come to the United States than during the transatlantic slave trade. Nearly 2% of the black population of the United States consists of these highly educated and entrepreneurial immigrants. These and other immigrant communities. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's in New York, though. I don't think he's at home. These and other immigrant communities continue to challenge and reshape how we see and define African American and racial identity. But maybe he will scope. Yes, the migration stories are very powerful. He had a lot of black people working. Okay, I guess you're right. And then it says immigration from the Caribbean began flowing into the United States in large numbers in the late 19th century. That shifted since the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. Oh, okay. Can be significantly seen demographically from the 1980s forward. Today, over 2 million Afro-Caribbeans represent almost 5% of the black population of America and a black majority in a few U.S. cities. Okay, so the Caribbeans are majorities in New York, Miami, Boston, and Fort Lauderdale. And Africans are majorities in New York, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Boston. So that's interesting. Yeah. Black African immigrants to the U.S. 1980, 64,000. 2013, 1,360,000. Oh, really? She was. That's awesome. And then Caribbean migration, 1980, 453,000. 2013, 1 million, almost 2 million. And then, so immigration back to the South, 1970. I'm doing this backwards. To the South, population changes. Atlanta, of course. Dallas, Houston, Miami. African Americans, that's what's going on. Loss or gains of African American population in the southern states. So the South is still gaining. Atlanta's always been a mecca, a black mecca, and will continue to be. So the Great Migration, Chicago, of course. Pittsburgh? I didn't know Pittsburgh was one. Newark? Maybe they passed through. Really? Pittsburgh? Is that what it's saying? Cohorts, escaping, seeking, thriving, resigned, and resilient, despairing, and hopeful. People of African descent composing multitude journeys freely and by force. Regions, oceans, and continents over 5 centuries. Yeah, Atlanta, where you live. That's right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So this is the first migration, 1915 to 1913. You're welcome. Second migration, 1940 to 1970. Oh, Dallas. Denver. Davenport? Really? I don't know about this. Minneapolis. Okay, they moved to Minneapolis. But it does say, so these are the where African Americans have primarily migrated. Miami, south to Miami, but they're passing up Atlanta. I don't know why Atlanta's not on here. So we're up and down the East Coast: Richmond, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City, Newark, New Haven, Providence, Rhode Island, Boston, Albany, Rochester, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. It's interesting where we've migrated: Dayton, Cincinnati, Louisville, Indianapolis, Toledo. Why not go west? Well, yeah, Los Angeles. Thank you. Oakland, San Francisco, Denver, Portland, Seattle. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So the West, less than 1% in the 1900s, 90% in the South, Midwest 6%, Northeast 4%, 1930, West less than 1%, Midwest 11%, Northeast 10%, South 79%, and then 1960, the West 6%, Midwest 18%, Northeast 16%, South 60%. So those are our migration patterns, guys. So migration is the theme. And let's see, stories across the landscape: transatlantic slave trade, Senegambia, Sierra Leone, Windward Coast, Gold Coast, Bight of Benin, Bight of Biafra, West Central Africa, Southeast Africa, South America, Mexico and the Caribbean, Caribbean islands, Mexico and Central America, Gulf Coast, Carolinas, Chesapeake, and northern USA. So the Gulf Coast, 22,000, Georgia, Carolinas, 200,000, Chesapeake, 129, northern U.S., 27,000. And they're saying the transatlantic slave trade started in the 1500s. Oh, welcome to Periscope. To 1865, emancipation. And today, January 1st, is Emancipation Day as well. Between the 1400s and the 1800s, at least 12 million people were trafficked from Africa to the Americas through the transatlantic slave trade. America in the modern world cannot be understood without tracing the geographical, cultural, and psychological roots of dislocation and relocation of this largest forced immigration in history. South America, 6 million. Look at that. Thanks for joining. Europe, less than 120,000. Mexico and Central America, 264,000. Northern mainland, 400,000. So it's 400 years and 400,000 people. Caribbean islands, 5 million, 5.16. And then South America, 6 million. And then after they abolished it, of course, there was the domestic slave trade coming out of Charleston. Well, they have on here Savannah. And so Galveston, New Orleans, Natchez, Pensacola, Jackson, Montgomery, Savannah, Memphis, Louisiana, Louisville. I'm sorry, go ahead. St. Louis. So the overlapping transatlantic slave trade banned in 1808. Ah, yes. Zora Neale Hurston. Yes. Yes, absolutely. The last survivor of slavery from Africa. That book is about him. What is his name? I forgot. I just read the story the other day. Tell me what his name is. The domestic slave trade in the United States extended into the 1860s. It separated families and forcibly displaced more than 1 million enslaved women. Cujo, yes. That's not true. This map highlights the movement of those souls across the upper South to the deep South and West from 1800 to 1865. You need to come to this museum, and also, I don't know, Tessay, what is she called? The Black TCK. Her father is a professor of African history. He and his colleagues wrote a book, and it talks about slavery. They're Nigerian. It talks about how they sold us. So you have to go to the source. I'm going to show you guys this. Of course, it did. Nobody's saying it didn't. So Mike did an excellent scope. So I never noticed that their arms were reversed. And they had no shoes on. And the first guy's Australian. He was ostracized. He died. He was never really accepted back. He stood with them, and I never realized he also protested with them. Yes, one pair of gloves. So they only had each one glove. Yes, that's what Mike said. So they were reversed. One wore the right glove and one wore the left glove. Mexico City Olympic protests. So on October 16, 1968, Tommy Smith and John Carlos and Australian Peter Norman. So this is Peter Norman. Tommy Smith and John Carlos staged a protest. And they, I think Mike said in his scope that was not the Black Power, because Black Power, I think, is just one right fist. It's not a right and a left fist. This was for all people. This was just, they were protesting social injustice. That's what they were protesting. So we are going to go, okay, so Making a Way Out of No Way continues out of this over here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, really? They have the sculptor of the Little Rock 7. Awesome. Awesome. You're welcome. Welcome. So this, it was a test being the first Negro under those conditions, Robert Churchwell, 2002. The Nashville Banner has employed a full-time Negro reporter on its staff to report the activities of the colored citizens of Nashville. There he is, Robert Churchwell. So he was the first one. Wow. One of the first black journalists to work at a white-owned Southern newspaper, Robert Churchwell, 1917 to 2009. 1917 to 2009, was hired by, very handsome, yes, was hired by, 1917 to 2009, was hired by the Nashville Banner in 1950 to cover news in the black community. Oh, I'm sorry. Despite prejudice from his co-workers, censorship of his articles. Yeah, it was the Vatican that okayed slavery to Barbados in the 1400s. So Churchill remained at the Banner for over 30 years. They censored his articles on civil rights activities. Wow. Pioneering role in desegregating mainstream press. He became known as the Jackie Robinson of journalism. So they censored his... So that's the lunch counter, and that's King. And that's him working in the newsroom. So this one is Charlie Teen Harris self-portrait. In this portrait studio and out in the field, Charlie Teen Harris documented the daily lives and achievements of Pittsburgh's black citizens. His pictures accompany newspaper coverage of weddings, sporting events, charity functions, and community activities. Many of the people and events Harris photographed were in his own neighborhood, the Hill District, the social center of Black Pittsburgh and home to many prominent residents, businesses, and cultural institutions. You're from Europe? Oh, where in Europe are you from? So look at this camera, countering stereotypes. During his 40-year career as a photojournalist, Charlie Teeny Harris, 1908 to 1998, produced one of the largest and most significant visual records of the 20th century African American life. Many of his photographs appeared in the Pittsburgh Courier, a prominent black newspaper where he worked. So those are some of the photos. He worked on staff from 1941 to 1975. Mostly self-taught with an 8th grade graduation, Harris used his camera to tell diverse and eloquent stories of Pittsburgh's black community. So this was his camera. And there's a picture of him there. And he only had an 8th grade education. Isn't that amazing? And we know John H. Johnson. We wanted to give blacks a new sense of somebodyness, a new sense of self-respect. And Ebony magazine, and these are some of the covers of early Ebony magazines. Wow, look at Ebony. Look at these Ebonies. Amazing. Oh, hi, Ketchy. Welcome back. How are you doing? Ebony Fashion Fair. Oh, and Crisis, too. Yeah, I know, Oprah. So, Jackie Robinson. Who is that? Is that Eartha Kitt, maybe? Does it say? I think that's Eartha Kitt. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, Lena Horne. Is that, I think that's Diana Ross. Is it Diana Ross? Bill Cosby? Oprah? Prince? Obama? And is that Iman? This is Diana Carroll. And this is John H. Johnson, the founder of Ebony. And his daughter, I think, Lyndon Johnson Rice, they did, I don't know. They didn't take him out. But his daughter was just named, I think, one of the most powerful women in Chicago. Poetry to the people. I think the vigor and beauty of our black poets should be better known and should have an outlet. Dudley Randall, 1975. This is the Black Arts Movement. And then this is the power of the press, making a way out of no way. Oh, you're welcome. You have a happy day and a peaceful 2019 as well. Thank you for joining. Okay, Theta. The first African-American newspaper, Freedom's Journal, was published in 1827. Ever since, African Americans have used the press to establish an independent voice. The North Star is being resurrected, you guys. Know that by Sean King. So they're resurrecting the North Star, which is Frederick Douglass's newspaper. So the first newspaper was Freedom's Journal, published in 1827. Established an independent voice for black communities and advances the struggle for freedom and equality. Publishers and journalists challenged racism by exposing injustice, reporting on civil rights activism, and presenting positive images of black identity and achievement. Publications also reflected the diversity of black people in the United States and throughout the diaspora. The mouthpiece of, and then that's the Philadelphia Tribune. Hue magazine? That looks like Jet. I didn't know there was a Hue magazine. I don't remember that one. 1954. Wow. Interesting. And these are printing blocks to illustrate the Chicago Defender. Yeah, that's amazing. And that's John H. Johnson, Jet. Well, maybe it was Hue before it was Jet. I don't know. Yeah, Eartha Kitt, the Crisis magazine. Wow, the Negro Press, which is why it's important to keep it alive. Malcolm X, Our Freedom Can't Wait, Muhammad Speaks. Emmett Till, yeah. Wow. The Black Panther. They had their own paper as well. The Baltimore Afro-American, that still exists. The Chicago Defender still exists. Still around. They're still around. So, to colored women, we have a word. We have broken the editorial ice for your class in America, so go to editing. As many of you as are willing and able. Mary Ann Shadd, 1855. So this is Mary Ann Shadd Cary, and she actually has a house here in Washington, D.C. She was the first African-American woman to publish and edit a newspaper. Mary Ann Shadd Cary, 1823 to 1893. She used the press to claim a place for black women in political debates of the 1850s. Born in Delaware to free black parents, in 1851 she immigrated to Canada to run a school for fugitives from slavery. From 1853 to 1860, she edited the Provincial Freeman, a newspaper for black settlers in Canada, which addressed topics including abolitionism, women's rights, and black immigration. And so I had a chance to visit Chatham and Dawn. Yeah, isn't that awesome? You hope you made it on time? Yeah, we're still going. We're still here. So that's where she was, in this area here, in Canada. So that's Mary Ann Shadd Cary. Letters from the editress. Provincial Freeman. That was the first African-American newspaper published by a woman in 1850s. Yes, it is.
And playing on or throwing items off balconies is strictly prohibited and will result in an escort out of the building.
So we're at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and today is the last day that all the Smithsonian museums are open before the shutdown, the government shutdown. It's been going on for a few days, but they kept the Smithsonian museums open, and so not on your watch. They're on your clock. Okay, you're welcome. So they kept the zoo open, the museums open till today, and there are no passes required. If you're in the area, you just come down and walk in. You can just come down and you can walk into the museum. So I'm going to take you guys down. I'm going to show you guys Sweet Home Cafe. I don't know if Claudette is still here, but she wanted to see food, so I will see if they have what they have for New Year's. Black Eyed Peas. That's the outside architecture. We're on the web. Watch the replay if you came late. Great scope. Thank you. You're welcome. You learned some history? Awesome. I always learn something when I come here. This museum is just, oh my God, it's so huge. There's just so much information here. It's just incredible. Well, here, let me show you guys. So this is the second level. It's called Explore More. We were in the Communities Gallery. This is Explore More. So I will show you guys real quick. Yeah, it's huge. And I didn't even do all of that section. There was a whole sports section on the other side. No, they're not open tomorrow. Where's the entrance to this? Okay. They won't be open tomorrow. Explore More on the second floor. So they have a learning center, interactive gallery, family history, media arts. No, you have to wait for them to pass a new budget. So this is the hip-hop photography exhibit. There was a controversy about this. I don't know, because somebody said that you want to go see something. Well, you can go back and watch my replays. But this exhibit, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But people were complaining that African American did not curate this exhibit. And so it's a whole big thing. And I think she did a fine job. Schomburg, this is the National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. That's what this is. Oh, is somebody going to do it? Oh, I love this one. This is Step Africa. Oh, Dr. Schomburg. I don't know that he's in here. I've never seen him in here. So step shows were done. Yes, stepping. So this is the interactive exhibit. And Janice cannot do steps. Janice will not be stepping. I know, isn't it cute? My grandchildren have been yet to come and do this. Oh, current contributions? Oh, I did the history gallery. I think my last visit. Go back and check my replays. I have a lot of replays of this museum. I scoped the whole beginning of slavery on another replay. So here, follow me and go check out my replays. I will try and go downstairs. So I want to show you guys this over here. We will do each move 4 times, starting with march, play, and then step. This is new. Oh, that's Elizabeth Catlin. That's really cool. I like the interactive. This is sponsored by Google. Yeah, it says up there. Sponsored by Google. No, the museum goes from the 1400s. It starts from the 1400s. Slavery started in the 1400s. So when you go down, it begins on the 1400s. Yeah. Oh, Jose's here? Hey, Jose. So this is the green book. Follow the green book. And so you go on a car ride and you make decisions on which way to go, and that determines your experiences. It's very eye-opening. So, you know, the movie The Green Book, they have a whole exhibit on it. Yeah, 1400s. And then over here, you can touch different objects that are in the museum and read more about it, which is great for kids. So they get to touch things. Julia paper dolls, wow. So you see, you can touch and drag them. Oh wow, that is cool. Haiti 1804, Toussaint Louverture. I could take you down for that. Let's go down. And this is genealogy right here, family history. They have workshops, and they give you a code to use so that you can go home and explore your history. You're welcome. We'll go down. Okay, I'll take you guys down to the history gallery for Haiti on the way to the cafe. So we'll go down. My great-grandchildren were with me yesterday. Yesterday we went to the Native American Museum, and then I came here and scoped. So what did I scope about yesterday? I scoped, black migrations. That's what I scoped yesterday. And then before that I came and I scoped the whole history gallery with the beginning of slavery. So we're gonna, we've been doing genealogy on your family history since 1999. It's a lot of, it is a lot of work. So that's the museum gift shop. And I have a scope on the museum gift shop as well. So you guys can look for that in my replay. Thank you for the Super Hearts, JP501. Thank you so much. So that's the Heritage Hall over there. That's Heritage Hall. And they have performances. Yes, it is going to close tomorrow due to the shutdown. All the Smithsonians will be closed tomorrow. All of them. That's the Washington Monument over there. The White House is over this way, across the street. So we're going down another level. So the museum is massive. You see? It's massive. And then there's another 3 levels below here. You have to take breaks. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So I also scoped watching Oprah, but it got cut off. I don't know that they allow it. I scoped like the beginning of it. So that's the special exhibit that's here now. But if you're in Washington, D.C., come down, because today's the last day to see the Smithsonian museums. You don't need a pass to get in the National Museum of African American History and Culture. So that's watching Oprah's exhibit. I have a scope on that. So we're going to keep going. We're going to go down another 3 levels. Go down another 3 levels here. So this is the history gallery. So I'm going to show you Toussaint Louverture. So this is the journey toward freedom. It says 15th to 21st century. The journey towards freedom. But 15th century is actually 1400. Oh, we could stand in front of the elevator. I'm sorry. I went to the museum in Ohio. They have the actual slave ship. Oh, wow. Foxy Brown. That's awesome. 1890 census was destroyed. Oh, no. Abraham Lincoln. Honor King in racism. There's Frederick Douglass. Poor People's Campaign. So 15th century is 1400s. So I don't know why, but that's the way it works. Oh, they give they tell who's in here. Birmingham Museum is what? Reflecting pool. Hello. So I'm gonna watch the numbers on the wall here. Uh-oh, I don't want to stop the broadcast. What am I doing? You're welcome. So 2008. Hi guys. Today, 2008. And
elevator down to C3 if anyone else is ready to go there.
oh, absolutely, please. And let me know when you guys are going to do it. You can email me at ownvoicesperry@gmail.com. Well, here, let me get over here. Absolutely.
She provided us a newer Steve Martin, but not she provided us. And then
So we're going to go down, and the numbers on the wall reflect us going back in time.
Stephen Hawking, maybe.
Hello everyone, how are you all doing?
Hello.
We're going to travel back in time to the year 1400. You all will see the dates as you move along. If you have a map, we're going to C3, slavery and freedom.
Take care.
C3 is the lowest level. From there, you'll be walking up a ramp. C3, C2, C1. C2 has Emmett Till Memorial. Emmett Till is the only place in the museum where pictures are not allowed. His family's request. You're going to exit behind you. There will be one restroom within the entire 3 levels. That restroom is to the right through the glass doors. Exit behind you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. See, 1400 takes you back in time.
The acting was well done. The stories presented. I was reading it. Did you get any stories based on?
Yeah, 1400 is 15th century. So, see, slavery and freedom, 1400, 1887. 500 years ago, a new form of slavery transformed Africa, Europe, and the Americas. For the first time, people saw other human beings as commodities, things to be bought, sold, and exploited to make enormous profits. This system changed the world. The United States was created in this context, forged by slavery, as well as a radical new concept, freedom. This is a shared story, a shared past, told through the lives of African Americans who helped form the nation. We've got to tell the unvarnished truth. John Hope Franklin, 2005. We should all send this to President Trump. He needs to know that. So over here on this side, Europe and an emerging global economy. Over here, oh, excuse me, somewhere, trade among equals. Somewhere it says that the Ottoman Empire, where was it? Oh, I can't find it. Oh, maybe it's here. Okay, it says Amerigo Vespucci was an Italian explorer, navigator, cartographer. He proved that Columbus did not travel to Asia, but rather reached present-day Brazil and the West Indies. In 1507, for the first time, a map maker included the word America on a map of the Western Hemisphere in honor of Vespucci. Vespucci's letters were also informed the European public about the unexplored new lands and their native people. And then Christopher Columbus expedition was part of a series of events that transformed Europe, Africa, and the Americas. His travels were intended to open the Asian spice trade for Spain. In 1492, Columbus landed in the Bahamas, traveled to modern-day Cuba, and ultimately established a settlement in Hispaniola, modern-day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. By 1542, virtually all of the native people of Hispaniola had died from disease and abuse, prompting the import of African slaves to replace their labor in the sugar fields. So this is the founding of Haiti. All right. That was Haiti. Yeah, Columbus. And then over here, somewhere it says that the church, the Vatican, started the slave trade, sanctioned the slave trade. Where was it? Or is it over here? I can't remember. So I think it says it in this video, too, if we get to it.
In 1866, at least 12,500,000 enslaved Africans were shipped to the Americas.
Oh, there we go.
Close to 400,000
I don't think you can see it.
were brought to North America.
We'll keep going. I can't get it on there.
Europeans built an economy based on slavery and the New World plantation system.
It's whiting it out, isn't it? I can't show it to you guys. Well, let's go see Toussaint Louverture. But that was Haiti. That was Haiti. I scoped the... You scoped the photos? I did that video before. I don't know why it's not showing up today. But I have it on another scope. Finding.
As 20% of the population.
Oh, you can hear? Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go back to it then if you can hear it. Okay, so I'm going to show you Toussaint Louverture in honor of Haiti. Here he is. So that's Toussaint Louverture. Hi, Mike. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Oh, I should go back and show you the place in Portugal that you scoped. It's on this map back here. But this is a statue of Toussaint Louverture. He defeated 5 governments to free Haiti's independence. Today is Haiti's Independence Day. And so that is Toussaint Louverture. Born 1743 to 1803, he said he was born a slave, but nature gave him the soul of a free man. Throughout his life, he fought for freedom. He was born enslaved in Breda Sainte Domingue, now Haiti, but freed in 1776 at age 33. Well educated, he could speak both French and Creole. During the Haitian Revolution, he used his military, political, and economic knowledge to govern the country. It says that there are descriptions but no known portraits of Louverture. His legacy lays in his action founding the first republic to ban slavery. So Haiti was the first emancipated African nation in the diaspora, and they're celebrating 250 years of freedom. And we're going to go back this way. And I'm going to show Mike the place that you visited in Portugal is actually on the wall here. And I recognized it. I was like, oh, that's Portugal. That's where you went to scope. So Mike had this fantastic scope. What's the name of the place, Mike, that you went to in Portugal? You guys, if you could share that scope out again, that was an amazing scope. Oh, maybe I can...
Human lives build wealth and power for nation states, colonies,
So here it is here. So this is the square. This is the square. Lagos, that's right, of course. For Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Portugal. Yes. So this is it. Lagos. He went to Lagos, Portugal. Lagos, Portugal was before Lagos, Nigeria. And so this is the square in Portugal. This is where the slave trade originated. So the Pope in the Vatican gave the slave trade to the Portuguese. He sanctioned it. And that's what that mural is about. That is what that's about. So it's the church that played the role. So let me see if I can get this.
Was kidnapped and enslaved at age 11 and taken to the Caribbean and the Americas.
My thing is whiting out.
Equiano endured the horrific experience of New World enslavement.
I'm sorry, you guys can't see the...
He recalled, you know, sometimes amongst the fortune and I found some of my own nation.
I wish I could show it to you. It's all whited out. Oh, there it is. There's
the church, governments, and companies invested in the business of slavery.
Yeah, there's the church.
The sale of enslaved Africans and the profits made from their labor developed European nations and New World colonies. Men such as Henry Lawrence, a partner in one of the largest slave trading houses in colonial North America, transformed
the Catholic Church is the largest owner of property
thousands of enslaved Africans in the 17th
in the United States, and they used enslaved Africans to work the property
of the Continental Congress.
As they built the United States.
The wealth generated
and
by
it's not
slavery
talked
was
about.
enormous for nations as well. By 1833, when Great Britain abolished slavery, the country paid out roughly $2.4 billion in today's currency to compensate British slave owners. The transatlantic slave trade was built on profit and human suffering. Despite the harsh reality of the inhumanity of enslavement, enslaved people, forcibly dispersed throughout the Atlantic world, created something more. New connections, new cultures, and a rich African diaspora.
Okay. So that was the part about the church's involvement. Happy New Year, everybody.
They cleared and cultivated the land, building.
Well, I guess I could show you guys. Okay, so this is Portugal.
Forced together, Africans, including.
So what they did in this museum, they took each country, and when they participated in the slave trade, and the number of Africans that they transported by country. So Denmark, 85,000. They participated in slavery from 1649 to 1802. Portugal, 1441 to 1836, 5.8 million. So Portugal was the one that was given the business of slavery by the Vatican. Great Britain, 1562 to 1807, 3.3 million.
Charleston, New Amsterdam, and Philadelphia. Enslaved men, women,
France, 1549 to 1818, 1.4 million.
craftsmen, dock workers, and local.
The Netherlands, 1619 to 1814, 553,300. And then they list the name of each ship. So this is the boat I believe that they found. So they list the name of the ship, the country, the date that the voyage began, the number of enslaved when they started, and the number that survived. And this whole wall, all the way down to the other end. The Catholic Church also owns the majority of Israel. Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
By 1750, the system of slavery was racialized and had become more uniform.
And then they also talk about, they break it up according to the Chesapeake, which is Virginia. Let's see, Chesapeake region. I'm sorry. Delaware, Virginia, and Maryland. And then they talk about daily life. And then there's always rebellion, resist. And this is always important. So Bacon's rebellion would be the one for the Chesapeake area. And they do it according to Low Country. If you ever come, Stono Rebellion. This is the Carolinas. I want to show you guys this.
Environments and varying systems of slavery. From rocky coastlines to dense swamplands, massive forests, and expansive coastal plains, enslaved Africans learned the terrain.
Yeah, I am in the bottom level now. I'm in C1.
Port cities.
I started at the third level up.
Hebrew, Mende, and Bambara contributed to the new regional cultures throughout.
I'm doing what? How long have I been scoping? I know. I wasn't. Somebody asked me to come down and do Haiti, and so that's why I'm down here. But this is important.
The condition of slavery was not yet defined. In some instances, a few Africans in America had limited degrees of freedom. On large plantations, enslaved people made up a black majority. This enabled them to maintain cultural practices and create new American cultures. In large port cities like Charleston, New Amsterdam, and Philadelphia, enslaved men, women, and children often worked in a variety of trades, as domestics, craftsmen, stock workers, and local vendors. In bustling cities, free and enslaved Africans had more opportunities to meet, build relationships, and share information. On small, rural farms, enslaved people often formed close relationships with American Indians and European indentured servants. They labored, lived, and rebelled together. The dependency on slave labor spread across North America, from Dutch New Amsterdam to the British colonies, as well as in French Louisiana and Spanish Florida.
Thanks for sharing, Mike.
With the reliance on enslaved populations, new laws defined who was enslaved and who was free. By 1750, the system of slavery was racialized and had become more uniform. The law based slavery on African descent and made it hereditary and lifelong. This separated indentured Europeans and enslaved Africans. It created whiteness. And Africans became black in colonial North America.
Okay.
The race-based system of slavery was cemented into law.
Oh, I thought it was done.
It was fundamental to the growing colonial economy and would prove instrumental to the founding of the United States.
Okay, now it's done, I guess. Okay, so that was the Low Country. Sorry, excuse me. And then over here, this is Louisiana, and then there's always rebellion. So if you ever come, make sure you look at the rebellion. And then this is the north, northern colonies. And then these are the patriots and the loyalists.
Fought for the British, fled to Canada, where they gained freedom.
So I can't show you guys all of this. It's like, to walk through this, it takes about an hour. I would say it's about an hour per level down here. So there's 3 levels. So that's 3 hours. 3 hours. So I'm going to go back up. That's an auction block of enslaved people. So I'm going to go back up. Somebody wants to see Sweet Home Cafe, and then I'm going to end it on out. That's Harriet Tubman and her shawl from Queen Victoria. I'm going to rush through here. But I've scoped a lot of this. So I'm going to try and run through here because it's a huge museum. So this is C1. I'm going to go back to C2. Try and get back to C2 here.
The United States military opened up its ranks to African American soldiers who became, in essence, a liberating army.
And then they have these booths. You go in, you share your story. You can tell about your family history, share your experience at the museum. Oh, actually, today is Emancipation Day. I should show you the Emancipation Proclamation. These are actually copies. The real Emancipation Proclamation is at the National Archives. So President Lincoln signed it on January 1st, 1863. Slavery was abolished on paper, but they said two more years. It took 2 more years for it to happen. So that is the new year for African Americans. That's why they have watch services. Yes, you all should come. You lost my last broadcast? Oh. Okay, I'll go to my Twitter. My Twitter is at the Janice Temple. And I will put it on my Twitter. I'll share it out so you can see it. I'll make a series of tweets. I'll put them all together for you so that you can see them. Well, Juneteenth is for Houston. Oh, you lost connection. So that's the Emancipation Proclamation. This is the 13th Amendment right here next to it. These are copies. 2 hours? Okay. Let me go up. So we're on C1. This is that's a slave cabin right there. And then that's a cabin for where free people lived. And then on up to the main level. So we're down below. So it's a huge museum. This is underground. We're actually underground. So we're going to go up, guys. And Claudette better come back so she can see. I want to see if they have black eyed peas, what they have at Sweet Home Cafe. So the cafe was nominated for the James Beard Award. And there are lots of films here. I have not seen all these films. I need to come back and do that myself. I tried to show you a few of them. I'm sorry. Get up here. But I scoped here yesterday. I went in the segregated car. So you can go back. And so we scoped that. I'm going to go up. I can't see all the comments because I'm trying to walk. So I'm sorry if I'm missing comments, guys. Museum is filling up a little, which is good because it's the last day. It's the last day to visit any Smithsonian museums. Last day for you guys to come and check this out. So this is C2. the second one. C2. And I guess I could go back. Thanks for sharing. So I'll give you guys just a little peek of this. You're welcome. So this is the Black Power, Honor King and Racism, Black America and the Culture, Nation of Islam. Over here, President Barack Obama, the dress Michelle wore to inauguration, and then lots of memorabilia and pictures. Oh, wow. Wow. So that's what that is. And then, so these are the 2000s on level 2. So we're going to go up. This is a Tuskegee Airman airplane. It's beautiful, isn't it? And we're going to go up here now. Go see if they have black eyed peas at Sweet Home Cafe. Obama's inauguration. Right there. And then that's a film. And this is I Too Am America by Langston Hughes. And now we're going to exit. Oh, I have to show you guys the contemplative court real quick. And then Sweet Home Cafe. So once you exit to get rid of all the heaviness, feelings and emotions, they have this stream of water that flows. I'm going to show you guys that. That's a picture of it. So we're going to go there real quick. And then Sweet Home Cafe. And I am hungry, so it's perfect timing. I'll see what they have today. So this is the contemplative court. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it amazing? So this is where you come to cleanse your spirit from the heaviness of going through the lower galleries. We are determined to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. Martin Luther King Jr., 1955. Isn't that beautiful? So this is the contemplative court. It is. And it's very refreshing. Sam Cooke says a change is going to come. A friend of yours took pictures? Awesome. Yes. It's a great place to come and take selfies. So, Sweet Home Cafe. Sweet Home Cafe now. We're going to go to Sweet Home Cafe. And I will show you guys Sweet Home Cafe. Negative ions. Yes, that's exactly. Yes, it's refreshing, recharging, gets rid of all the negativity, uplifts your spirits, gives you hope. There's the Oprah Winfrey Theater, which is open for special occasions. And this is Sweet Home Cafe, which was nominated for the James Beard Award. Are they pulling food already? Oh no, I've missed the food, you guys. Nothing's left. I did that again. I did that yesterday. Yesterday I got the last of the shrimp. Well, I missed the food. I took too long. What they have is cake. There's no food left. I missed it. What time is it? Oh my God. Well, they have sweet potato pie, red velvet cake, double chocolate cake. Closing early. What time is it? Apple, crumb tart, double chocolate raspberry tart. Well, we missed the food. So they have a cookbook. I guess I'm having desserts then. Did you all have, it's 4:10? Oh, that's why. Okay. So you are start shutting down at what time every day? I know you're not going to be open anymore, yeah. 11 to 3.
Yeah, sometimes they stay open till 5.
Oh, sometimes they stay open. Well, today is your last day, so. Yeah, so today's your last day, but normally 11 to 3. Right. No, I understand. Okay. Yes, I can eat cake. I know they look delicious. So you know, red velvet cake comes from Juneteenth. Yes, government shutdown, right. So we can have cake. We can have lots of cake. I guess I should, okay. Yesterday I had the red velvet. Today, let's see, yeah. I guess I'll scope down on desserts, guys. And I'm going to get some. Yeah, that chocolate looks good. Oh my goodness. That really looks good. I might have chocolate cake. So you don't need passes to come Monday through Friday. So you can just come in. So when it opens back up, the red velvet, I know, right? I know. So when it opens back up, you only need passes on the weekends. You don't need passes. I don't have sweet potato, but now I want some pumpkin pie. Oh, I love sweet potato. I can always change the thumbnail. That's true. Okay, I'll keep you guys on. I'm gonna get my chocolate cake. I know, right? I know.
I'm going for it.
You're going for the chocolate? You don't need passes. In March, they're supposed to change it back to where you need passes, I think, for spring break.
Oh, God.
I know, right? Okay. So I think I'm going to go for chocolate, because yesterday I had red velvet, and I am a chocolate person. I didn't mean you should keep scoping. All right, I think I'm going to get off. I got my cake, guys. I know, right? The shutdown is crazy. So I'm going to do a reset here. Get my cake? I do. Are they free? They save me a piece. The cake is not free. The cake is $5.95. Cake is not free. Cake is not free. And the food is fabulous. So, yeah. Food is fabulous. Hi. That's all I'm going to have. Oh, I didn't get a tray or anything, did I? Yes, you have to buy the food. Passes are free. You're welcome. I have a, how much would you get here?
Okay.
Thank you.
$5.89.
Okay. My one hand here. Can I have a cup? You're welcome.
What kind of cup?
Plastic. Oh, you don't have plastic cup.
Water?
Yes. Okay. I want a cup for water. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to move on the other side here. Okay. Watch the replay. Yes, please watch the replay. If you have any other questions, let me know. I got to get my...
Oh, I mean, no, just only one thing.
People still want to feel its effect across the country. You're welcome, you're welcome. So the days that you need to get passes, you can go online at 6 a.m. on the weekend to get passes for the day. They have same-day passes once it opens back up. Once it opens back up. 2019 started off influential. Yeah. You feel the shutdown now? Okay. All right, guys. You know what? I should show you all the Sweet Home Cafe is actually an exhibit. I need another hand, so I'm gonna show you guys the cafe. We turn it around. So this is a foodways exhibit. That's what this is. So you can go around and you can read the things on the wall. So it's a living, breathing exhibit. Living, breathing exhibit. What is it? They don't have any forks. But they are closing down. They don't know when they'll be back open again. So see, you come in, you read these. You're not in it. Okay. You're fine. So these are exhibits along the walls. It's a foodways exhibit, and the food is it's a living exhibit. The food is our culture. Flip it up. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Oh, you know about the government shutdown? You're a federal employee? Okay. So I'm going to scope down, you guys, unless you have any more questions. I'm going to eat my cake right here at Sweet Home Cafe. What's upside down? It is? Maybe it's your phone might be upside down. Mine is not upside down, guys. I don't know what you're saying. Thank you for sharing, guys. It's better now. I'm glad. Oh, maybe when I'm flipping the camera it does that. You have been here for 2 years. You're welcome. You're welcome. So watch the budget battles. You're welcome, guys. And thank you, Periscope, for the feature. Thank you, guys, for coming on. It's not upside down for you. Awesome, Mike. Thank you, Mike, Jose, lighten up. Who else is on here? I'm trying to see everybody in my bottom up. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate you all. Happy New Year, and you're welcome. Fanny, yes. Thank you so much, Fanny. Thank you for all the super hearts, the hearts. Stars, persist, resist, absolutely. See you guys later. Ciao. Happy New Year.